Everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video we're going to kind of get a look into the Thunder's very first summer league game. We saw a bunch of different players that could make huge contributions to the Thunder next season kind of play. We'll talk about Nikola Topic and AJ Mitchell. They both started in that game. We'll kind of go over their stats and what we thought about Topic's Thunder debut. And then later on in the video, it actually was reported by Yahoo Sports of a possible Jaylen Brown to OKC trade. It's still like very skeptical and very early on, but this is just something Yahoo Sports posted on their thing about the possibility of a Jaylen Brown trade and what that might look like, and we'll kind of get more into that as we get into the video. But first off, the Thunder played their first summer league game on Saturday. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies 92-80, and kind of the first thing, our second round pick Barnheiser actually had 13 rebounds in this game, was the leading rebounder, obviously, and he just showed that he, even as a not bigger guy, he can get in there and kind of rebound the heck out of the ball. He had only 9 points but 13 rebounds, nearly had a double-double in your first technically professional basketball game. So I mean, from that perspective, it was amazing to see that he made an impact by not allowing those second chance points, like what the Thunder kind of struggled with, honestly, throughout what they struggled with throughout the playoffs. So to see a guy you just drafted in the 40th, whatever round it might be, or not 40th round, 40th pick, to go out there and rebound so well and make an instant impact in the first game of the summer league, and make an impact where you know that could possibly help you at some point in this regular season if you need it against certain teams and certain lineups. So to see that from Barnheiser was really good. Unfortunately, the Thunder didn't win this game, but for Summer League, it's not more about if you win. Obviously, yeah, you still want to win ball games. You want to be competitive. But as long as you see progression from the players that you're looking for and everybody's kind of learning out there, it's really what the Thunder are looking for, and that's what Barnheiser did in this one. And then we'll kind of transition into probably the biggest topic, no pun, but biggest person we're going to kind of talk about today in Nikola Topic. He made his OKC Thunder debut in this one, and he was actually pretty good overall. He had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot the ball efficiently, 6 for 11 from the field, and we saw a lot of what the Thunder were wanting to get out of Topic, a guy who can really get downhill, can be the main ball handler, and use those high screen and rolls, high picks to his advantage, where if he's able to do that with the Thunder, you roll a high screen and roll with guys like Chet and Hartenstein, he's going to be able to pass the ball so well, be able to finish at the rim, lob it up to those guys, and we saw a lot of it. And just from this game in general, it shows how much potential and excitement Thunder fans should have for Nikola Topic, because he, like we always say, he was expected to be a top 5 pick. So for the Thunder to get him so late in round, and now people will start really, because if you're not a Thunder fan, you haven't really been paying attention to Topic and what he might do or what we know he can do. So this upcoming year, whether Topic makes an impact day one or it's later on in the year, people will start to learn how good Topic is, and then they're going to wonder how we got him, and then they're going to realize that so many certain teams passed on him because they knew about the ACL injury and they needed that. They didn't want to have to wait that extra year to get a guy, where the Thunder were able to do that. So, I mean, just from the first game overall, very impressed with what Topic was able to do. He looked comfortable out there. I mean, especially for your first game back from such, like, pretty much the biggest injury you can have, one of the biggest injuries you can have at the NBA level, to come back and first game out there look like you actually belong and look like you've done this before and played at a professional level. It was great to see, and if he continues to do that, I think the Thunder will happily take 14, 4, and 4 any day of the week, especially from a guy who might only get 10 to 15 minutes a night depending on the night. So I mean, you have to look at it from that perspective, and from the perspective this is just his first game, so there's still going to be a lot of improvements to do. He's still very raw, he's so young, so there's still a lot of improvements and stuff he's going to tweak, and he'll continue to have those high games where he'll have a game better than this at 14-4-4. Then there'll be other games where he doesn't get above 6 points and he struggles, but that's just kind of how the process of a young player in this league, especially coming off after such a major injury, happens. And then the guy who was most definitely the player of the game for the Thunder in this was AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell, I've seen people say he's borderline, like almost too good for Summer League, because we have to remember before that, I believe it was a toe injury that put him out for pretty much the rest of the year. He was consistently coming off the bench, being a guy who was the ball handler for the bench unit, and he was out there dropping double-digit games on the regular. So it was not that shocking to see AJ Mitchell, but it just kind of brings up the point of, I mean, AJ Mitchell dropped 24 points, 6 assists. He looks like he is ready to go for this upcoming season. And now something I'm going to keep my eye on, and I'll let you guys keep up to date on what my thoughts are on it, are who I almost think Topic and Mitchell are kind of competing for minutes in the regular season. And what I mean by that is, I think come the regular season, when the Thunder run their 10-11 man rotations compared to their 8 and 9 in the postseason, you're going to have your same starting five, and then off your bench you're going to have your big trio off the bench of Wallace, Caruso, and Wiggins. And now you would have to assume that Sorber is probably going to be that big man depth off the bench, so that's your ninth guy. So now you got to look at it from there's probably 4 players fighting for about 2 spots where they're going to get playing time, and that is Kenrich Williams, that is Jalen Williams, and then Topic and Mitchell. And I think a lot of this depends on where we're at in the season, who Dagnall wants to give extra rest on that night. If we're facing a lineup with like the Nuggets or the Timberwolves who have bigger guys, you're probably going to run out there your Sorber and Kenrich and Jay Wilmore. But when you go up against a team who likes to run the small ball, like your Warriors or teams like that, you can even run Topic and Mitchell out there at the same time. We saw it work, and granted it's Summer League and you're not facing the same competition, but we saw them out there running together and they were doing perfectly fine. So I honestly think these two are fighting for kind of that 10th man spot of who's going to get more minutes. I think obviously right now Mitchell has that spot just because he has the extra experience actually playing. But I mean, from what we saw from Topic, and obviously Mitchell did amazing last night, I think these two could very well be fighting for time in the regular season. But I could also see lineups where off the bench and starting games, Dagnall kind of wants to run them out there together, where maybe you run both of them out there with like a J-Dub, a Kenrich, and then maybe a big guy. So I mean, it's something to keep your eye on. I knew this would kind of end up happening when the Summer League roster came out. I saw that Topic and Mitchell were kind of your top guys. So I think what the Thunder and what Dagnall are kind of wanting to see is how both of them react to certain scenarios throughout the Summer League. Like if you're struggling, how do you react to that? If you're on, are you still getting your teammates involved, or what that might look like? But it's something definitely to keep your eyes on over this Summer League, and see kind of who plays better and how that might affect regular season minutes. And then we'll kind of get into more off-season stuff as we end this video. Of Yahoo Sports recently reported that Jaylen Brown is possibly getting traded, and who it might be. And obviously the Thunder are going to be associated with every single big name because they have all the assets that you could ever want. And in this specific article, they mentioned that it would be 4 players and 3 picks, which definitely sounds like a lot, and I don't think this necessarily will happen or should happen, but it's something that is being written and put into an article, so I kind of wanted to talk about it just so you guys know that there are people talking about it. That doesn't mean necessarily it's going to happen, but if somebody's writing about it, there's a very small chance that it might happen. And in this scenario, they have us getting Jaylen Brown, and we would give up Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, Topic, and then we would give up 3 first-round picks, depending on which first-round picks are willing to give up or how many ever second-rounders. But in this, they mentioned 3 first-round picks. And to me, this is just a move where if the Thunder did it, it would basically get rid of all their bench depth, all of what the Thunder were building around, and I just don't see this happening. I think the Celtics are going to rely on Jaylen Brown to kind of carry them through the playoffs this year, obviously without Tatum, and I don't think the Celtics really want to get away from Jaylen Brown. I think they still believe Jaylen Brown and Tatum can, with new tools around them, can go back to the finals and get another championship. But, I mean, if this scenario were to happen, your new lineup looks like it would be the fact you could still have your same starting 5, but I'm assuming you would put Jaylen Brown in for Dort at the 2, where your starting 5 would be Shea, Jaylen Brown, J-Dub, Chet, and Hartenstein, which is an unbelievable starting 5. But then at that point, after you've given up all that bench depth, your bench is looking like Dort, Caruso, Sorber, and then probably AJ Mitchell at that point, with you still having J Will in there. So I mean, now you're only about 9 guys deep that you really trust, with I mean, one of those 9 guys being a rookie and then another guy being a second-year guy. So I mean, just from the perspective, I don't think this is happening, but I just wanted to mention to you guys to kind of give you, or kind of warn you that this was written and it could be a possibility. But let me know what you guys think down below of that trade. If you guys were able to watch Topic in the Summer League game, if you were more impressed with Topic or Mitchell, or somebody I didn't talk about that you kind of liked. But let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.